Hey everyone, welcome to the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. I am here with your Mix It Up Monday video. I decided to go ahead and do a card for today's project, which, you know, I don't do as many cards as I do scrapbooking, but I do like to do them sometimes just to have kind of a stash of cards on hand to send out. And even though the inspiration for this week is totally my style, especially with the colors and everything, I decided to go with what was inspiring me most, which was I live in Minnesota and we are definitely hitting the fall season, and so I wanted to use those types of colors and just do something fall themed. So I showed you the distress inks that I'm using there, and this is the water brush that I'm going to use. The leaves that are laying there were cut out with my silhouette, and I am going to be taking each of those little leaves and painting them with the four colors that I picked out. One thing I do want to say is the water brush that I'm using, I found out through just trial and error that there's a huge difference between this brush and the ones that I had been using, which I think the ones that I was using before were called like Aqua Flow. And the big difference is this brush, the Pentel Aqua brush, the ink does not seep into the water barrel. It's by design, so there is a piece that keeps it from seeping into that part of the brush, and to me that's a really big deal. The Aqua Flow brushes that I was using, every time I used it with one color, I had to pretty much dump out the water that was inside the barrel because the ink would just kind of suck up into the barrel as I was using it. So just an FYI on that, in case you were wondering how it worked for some people and if you had some trouble with it. I found that out. Just kind of trial and error, like I said. So I'm taking each of these leaves and I'm coloring them or painting them, and I'm doing most of them in like a beautiful red and orange color, and then a few of them kind of in a dirty green or brown. And I don't do all of these leaves on camera, but I do end up doing them all. What I do is I make one of the cards on camera, but I actually do 4 total cards, and you'll see them all at the end. Trying to show you some close-ups, but I think it's almost easier just to see them on the table. For the card, what I use is a Lawn Fawn set that I purchased recently. It's the snow globe set that they have for sale. I don't even know, it might even be out of stock. I think last time I looked at it was out of stock, but at least at the store that I shop at. But I bought the whole kit and caboodle because I'm hoping to use these for my holiday cards this year. But I wanted to get more use out of them just than my holiday cards. So I decided that I would try to use them for more than just snow scenes. And I think this works out perfect because, you know, leaves, especially during this time, are falling, and, you know, it almost appears like snow sometimes when you look outside and you see all those leaves falling from the trees. So right now I picked out a couple of sheets of paper that I thought would go good in the background. I believe I used a 6x6 paper pad from Amy Tan. And I'm cutting a few backgrounds out just because I know I'm going to make more than one card. I do some of that off camera. So I'm showing you here I have a whole bunch of the fun foam that I had previously cut out because I know that I'm going to be making a lot of these for the holidays. And so I'm taking, right here I'm taking and taping 2 of them together just because it seemed like the one was too thin. I do end up doing a couple of cards with just 1 layer of fun foam, and it was fine. So then I also had cut out the acetate and the cardstock piece. So how it works is the cardstock piece goes on top of the acetate, and then that piece goes on top of the fun foam. And then the background piece goes on the back, so that's how it's contained. So I'm showing you here that I'm going to put those 2 sections together. And I did try to use some different glue with this project, just because I know that I'm going to be going through a lot of these, and I'm trying to figure out what's the best glue to use. So I used some of that Elmer's dot adhesive, which is actually a really sticky adhesive, so that worked great. And then I tried my ATG, which also works great. The only problem with it is that it's hard to maneuver around those skinnier pieces, but I was able to make it work. And then I do use some wet glue also. Alright, so here I'm to the point where I can start figuring out what I'm going to put inside the globe. And I'm going to use obviously some of those leaves, and I'm going to use some of these little tiny beads, which I think are called seed beads. I have several colors, and I'm gonna add several of them in here. I think I add like a gold, and then the clear, and then later on I add some black. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my ATG to put the background on here. And it all lines up pretty good. You just have to make sure not to get too much tape on the inside so that things stick. I'm showing you here when I'm shaking the card, the leaves, what happened was they clumped up, so that's not good. So basically all the paper pieces all went into one clump, and then I couldn't unclump them. So I'm going to take this off, and of course a bunch of the beads went flying. And the way that I'm going to fix this is I'm going to glue some of the leaves. Sorry, this is a little bit off camera, but you'll see what I'm doing. I'm gluing some of the leaves onto the background piece. And what that does is it gives kind of a place for some of those inside pieces to catch. And it also helps, you can see that there's leaves in the background at all times. So this ends up fixing the problem. I do end up right here adding some of the black seed beads just to give it some more definition. Alright, I'm going to put that background on there and give it a shake, and it works perfect. It really just needed some more areas to kind of catch it and have less of the paper to clump up, so it worked perfect. Alright, so I'm showing you here, this is an old stamp set that I got when I was in the Technique Tuesday Allie Edwards stamp club. Sorry, I'm stamping this off camera, but it just says thankful. And then I'm going to take that piece and put it on some black cardstock for the card base. And I've already given one of these cards away, and all I did for the inside was I just took a piece of white cardstock, cut it down to just a little bit smaller than the card base, and glued it on the inside so I could write my message. So there you go, there's the card. Now I did end up making 3 more of these, just a little bit different variation. The 2 bottom ones are the same, but those are the cards. So I was really happy with the way that they turned out, and it was nice to kind of make 4 of them kind of assembly line. It worked out great. So I just want to thank you all for watching, and I appreciate any comments or thumbs up that I get. It's been really great working with this group, with the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. It's fun to do some different stuff too. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.